Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop, live in Milwaukee, getting ready to head back to the Republican National Convention events, and a lot to tackle this morning. We will revisit some of the happenings at the convention yesterday with the announcement of J.D. Vance being the former president's vice president's nominee. So we'll share some of those thoughts. I also connected briefly for a walk and talk with Vivek Ramaswamy, and also got reaction to Vance's pick from a couple of the delegates from Illinois. So let's get on into it. But first, we got to discuss the back and forth political rhetoric of the ongoing situation around former President Donald Trump and the assassination attempt on his life over the weekend. It's right here with Illinois in Focus Daily. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell with America's Talking Network, and join us each and every weekday morning as we bring you the latest that you need to know here in the land of Lincoln. As this week, I broadcast from the Republican National Convention. Yesterday was a travel day getting on the ground at the convention, so those looking for the show, appreciate your patience, but here we are live, giving you what you need to know here with America's Talking Network. Former President Donald Trump making his first appearance in public after an assassination attempt on his life at the Republican National Convention yesterday in Milwaukee. Of course, that assassination attempt taking place in Pennsylvania, and the former president seen there with a bandage on his ear as he walks up onto the stage yesterday here in Milwaukee. Good morning, it's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Thanks for taking time each and every weekday morning. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and join us as we give you a rundown of things you need to know to get your day started here with America's Talking Network and Illinois in Focus. So the president, of course, surviving that assassination attempt, and there's a lot of questions as to what happened that day, the security lapses. Yesterday, at an unrelated event, you had U.S. Senator Dick Durbin share some of his thoughts about the situation in Pennsylvania and the attempt on Trump's life.
All-consuming as it should be. Let me say at the outset, it is a miracle that Donald Trump is alive today. If you saw that scene, and many of us seen it over and over again, if that bullet would have been 1 inch in another direction, I'm afraid he would have given his life to this assassination attempt. But thank God he survived. Our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family and the families that were affected by this. I think Congress has a responsibility here to ask the hard questions. You know, the circumstances are such, you think to yourself, how could the official counter-sniper team have executed this man so quickly? He was that within their line of sight, and they were able to respond so quickly, and yet not identify him in advance before he fired these rounds. These are some fundamental questions which I've asked myself, and I've asked them, and they don't have the answers yet.
In your view, how much responsibility does Donald Trump bear when it comes to discussions about political violence and rhetoric on that?
I'm not going to go answer that question directly about former President Trump, but I will tell you this. We're all responsible, including you, the media, the social media. All of us have a responsibility to make it clear that those who are preaching violence are unacceptable, regardless of their political stripe.
So again, the senior U.S. Senator from Illinois sharing his thoughts about the questions of political rhetoric, and something that's on a lot of people's minds. And I connected with a couple of delegates for Trump from Illinois, including State Senator Andrew Chesney, a Republican from Freeport. He shared his thoughts about where we go from here in the political conversations.
Unity. You know, we want to win in November, and if you want to bring down the temperature, we have to elect Republicans up and down the ballot.
And he also shared with me his thoughts about what kind of message change there may be, considering that Trump had an assassination attempt on his life. And is that going to change his rhetoric? Again, here's Andrew Chesney.
Well, we're still going to have a very strong message. You know, every town in the state of Illinois is a border town. We're a border state. You know, Governor J.B. Pritzker has opened up the floodgates of illegal immigrants into our state, and of course that has complemented the Joe Biden agenda. And so, if you want to bring calm and get back to normal, we need to elect people that will fight for America and fight for America first, and that's Donald J. Trump.
So Chesney sharing those thoughts with me yesterday here in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention. Another state lawmaker from Illinois who's a delegate at the RNC, State Representative Dave Severin from Benton. I asked him as well about the aftermath of the assassination attempt on Trump and what that means for our politics moving forward.
So I appreciate the question, and the tone of the politics moving forward to me is that we see the seriousness of what's going on in our country or what isn't going on in our country, and to me, we just see that there's no time like the present to be steadfast in what we're doing as far as working to get our president back in office and get some things turned around in this country that need to be turned around. And so I'm so thankful that that he's okay, that he's going to be here this week, and the different things that transition. But boy, I mean to tell you, you think that things are challenging, and then they get really challenging.
So Severin sharing those thoughts about the challenges, and I asked him what kind of changes there may be to the rhetoric moving forward.
Well, I think as long as Donald Trump's in the House, there's always going to be personality driven. But as far as the policy driven, that's going to happen also. But people see that, hey, there's election coming up, and I'm supportive of Donald Trump, and I'm working really hard. Now it's like, oh, wait a minute here. This is serious. This is serious stuff. We've got to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and we're taking care of business, and so and working overtime. And so that's very important. I sense that here. I sense the excitement, the seriousness of what from this point coming to November.
So state representatives, state senators, and a bunch of other individuals at the convention in Milwaukee sharing their thoughts with me as I'm on the ground there here for Illinois in Focus with the Center Square. Go to thecentersquare.com and find the latest from the convention and the conversations and the investigation of the attempted assassination of former President Trump. Again, somebody who showed up yesterday at the Republican National Convention, first appearance since that attempted assassination on his life. See the bandage on his ear.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life.
Pretty incredible scenes there in Milwaukee, and the days continue. The Republican National Convention continues today, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll be on the ground here with Illinois in Focus and the Center Square with America's Talking Network, bringing you the very latest here, including next segments. We'll review what took place yesterday at the RNC. So stay tuned. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Thank you for taking time with me yesterday at the first day of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. You had delegates from across the country joining together to officially nominate President Donald Trump and also officially nominating J.D. Vance, a senator from Ohio, to be the vice presidential running mate. Welcome back, Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop on the road in Milwaukee, bringing you the very latest. Yesterday, got to town. It was a travel day for those that were looking for a live show on Monday, but obviously getting in place, getting credentials, and a lot of sunshine walking from building to building. It was definitely a hot one. Might be more mild today after some storms rolled through. But it didn't keep people from hitting the streets far from the convention site, where there were protesters on the scene showing their displeasure in the Republicans. So a lot of marchers going through the streets, all very orderly. The police presence is pretty extensive as well. Saw police on horseback, police on bicycles, and law enforcement from a variety of different agencies on the scene. And at the Fiserv Forum, that's where the action's taking place in Milwaukee. And here's just some of that. And inside, you had convention attendees pretty revved up and taking part in all kinds of different motions and discussing the party platform, and even taking part in having some fun and dancing to music. When it came to Illinois and the delegation there, giving their votes to President Donald Trump for the Republican convention. Here is U.S. Congresswoman Mary Miller on the convention floor with Republicans from Illinois behind her, giving their presidential electors to Donald Trump.
President, and on behalf of parents who are horrified by Joe Biden's attack on parental rights, on behalf of farmers who are being crushed by the Biden economy, on behalf of our daughters who Biden is forcing to compete against men in sports, and on behalf of the victims of the Kamala Harris border crisis, Madam Chairwoman, Illinois proudly cast all 64 votes for President Donald J. Trump.
So again, a lot of excitement there in Milwaukee on the floor of the convention. A lot of sign waving, but quickly signs changed as word came out that Trump has picked J.D. Vance to be his vice presidential running mate. And Vance came out on stage eventually, but it was interesting to see some of the makeshift signs people had made. And Vance obviously making an appearance and getting to the stage to, raucous applause here in Milwaukee. There he is walking towards the conventioners with his wife, being greeted. Clearly there's a lot of hope and optimism within the party as they have the official process of getting their nomination in place for J.D. Vance and Donald Trump to top that ticket here in the United States. I also was able to bump into Vivek Ramaswamy, who ran for president in the Republican primary. He was walking around the convention, sharing some time with various people, and I was able to do a brief walk and talk with the Republican, and he shared again some of the things that he has to say about J.D. Vance, a close friend of Vivek's.
Choice. I think he's going to be really strong. Yeah, I have a unique vantage point because I've known. Who are you with, by the way?
The Center Square.
Okay, good. I've known JD for a long time. We were law school classmates. He's a real person, and I think that's awesome. Good to see you, man. How are you doing?
Don't be friends with him.
It's
Hey, love you back, man. Good to see you.
Do you feel that he's going to be a good kind of check of the establishment politics in Washington?
Oh yeah, among other things, he's also just an original thinker. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. And I think that we need more original thinkers in BC.
Awesome, thank you
So
so much.
lots of happenings there, a lot of moving around and shaking of hands and people meeting each other from across the country. And J.D. Vance being announced as the VP yesterday was big news and something I got response from a couple of Illinois delegates, including State Senator Andrew Chesney, who shared with me his thoughts about Vance being the VP nominee.
Yeah, of course, he was on the short list, and he's a conservative. He's young. He's from Ohio. He's a military veteran, successful in his private career. And he's a good pick. He's somebody that will complement the president well, and so he can get our agenda through on the national level, which of course will help us in the state as well.
But I also asked Senator Chesney to reflect on Illinois' position in the national political scene when it comes to Republicans. Illinois is a winner-take-all state for the Electoral College. So whoever gets the most votes on Election Day gets all of the presidential electors for the final count in the Electoral College. You've got Senator Chesney not necessarily downplaying the significance of Democrats running the state of Illinois.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of energy. We're a united Republican Party. We have a candidate and we have a presidential candidate and a vice president candidate that can speak fluently and cohesively, and of course the other side of the aisle, they're talking about throwing out their candidate for president, and so we're united. They're dysfunctional. We believe our ideas are right, and we're going to take that to the ballot box in November. We want to hear how to unify this country, put America first, and win in November, and we believe that he'll have a message that will complement all the different factions of not only our party, but in America, bring everybody together so we can win. I think we all know that Illinois is going to be a challenge, but that's not because our ideas are bad. That just means that it's going to take a little bit more time and a little bit more work. The Democrat Party that's been installed in the state of Illinois is unhinged. They're unchecked, and they are really, really struggling now governing in the state of Illinois. And so they're blowing big holes in our budgets. They're putting a lot of illegal immigrants into our communities, and they're taxing these people in the state of Illinois to death. And so we believe it will take a little bit of time. We are going to remain hopeful that Donald Trump will be victorious in Illinois, but we recognize the uphill climb in doing so.
And I also asked State Representative Dave Severin about Illinois and the political reality of Republicans being in the minority and what that means for the presidential election.
Yes, so we're very serious in Republicans in the state of Illinois, even though we're outnumbered as far as in the House and the Senate and the state elected seats. We take it very serious as far as the election coming up from our local, state, and federal elections. And so we're working really hard to make sure that we get the message out, that we are talking to people, we're getting people on board with the message that we have. And they see also the seriousness of what's going on in this state. And they see that, if we're going to get something done, we got to get some help and don't just say, well, Illinois is not in play. Illinois is in play.
So Illinois is in play, Severin says. We'll obviously have a lot more voices from today at the Republican National Convention, on-site and off-site. But last night, you had a series of speakers with President Trump in the audience at the RNC, including Teamsters head Sean O'Brien. He addressed the RNC, saying that he asked both parties if he could speak, and the RNC and President Trump said, yeah, come on in over and speak to the RNC. And ultimately, he ripped big business. He ripped the elites, he said. He ripped companies like Amazon and said that corporations have no loyalty to this country, and says Republicans need to follow the lead of Senator Hawley from Missouri and Senator Vance from Ohio, realigning with American workers. And he also ripped on the political caste system of greed, O'Brien said. So the Teamsters Union, speaking at a Republican event, that could signal some interesting politics ahead as we advance towards the November general election. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. Thank you for being part of the program each and every weekday morning, and join us as we continue on. Get all the latest headlines at thecentersquare.com and follow along there, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning with Illinois in Focus Daily. Part of America's Talking Network, I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere. Just search Bishop on Air.